Hey, best friends. I'm Claire.
I'm Yana.
Welcome to
My Best Friend's Book Club.
Wow.
Book club, book club, book club.
That was so jolly.
We read books. Even if you can't read, you can still be here.
That's our value proposition.
And our mission statement is to be friends to readers and non-readers.
Absolutely. And if you're new here,
welcome.
I might go to episode 1, but you don't have to. You can do what you want to do with your life. And just know that
We love you.
we love you.
XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Oh my God. Yana, what are we reading?
Sociopath by
Patric Gagne. And it's a memoir. So it's her true story, everyone, about being a real sociopath. So we'll give you a short recap of what happened last week.
Because, girl, you know I don't remember.
And then we'll get into this week. So last week, we were with Patric while she was sort of like early teens. She went to a summer camp. She met her first love, David. And the romance kind of ends with, she's 14, he's 17, he's going to college, she's going to high school. Then we kind of fast forward to her college years where she's moved to LA to live with her dad and she's going to UCLA. And this is the first time where she attends a class that helps her understand what a sociopath is and that she actually hears the sort of more medical definition, if you will. And she still has to relieve this building pressure, which we learn more about in these chapters. Mm-hmm. And so one of the main things she starts doing is, I'm not sure I call it stealing cars, borrowing cars of drunk...
joyriding.
Yeah. Drunk frat boys. She convinces them to give her the car keys and she goes on these sort of night drives. And she comes in late to her dormitory past curfew and she's kind of upset her roommate, Kimi, at this time. So that's pretty much where it ends.
Yeah.
So Yana,
keep on reading.
Why don't you tell us what happened in these set of pages?
Thank you, Claire. I would love to.
First off, this was an incredible set of pages. Mm-hmm. I couldn't put it down and there was so much information that was just so freaking interesting. I have so much in discussion.
Yeah. All right. After her roommate, Kimi, confronts her about her lack of desire to follow the rules, about her lack of care in Kimi's feelings and coming in late, all of that. After she's confronted about that, Patric decides to start researching sociopathy. And she learns it used to exist as a diagnosis, but that has now changed to a more broad antisocial personality disorder. And it's mixed in with just kind of more general psychopathic behavior. So now it's really psychopath is the main thing. So it's not a diagnosis that's insurance billable. It's not something that there's just a lot of information on. It's more are you a sociopath? Because then we got a lot of info for you. But if you're anything even slightly off, your guess is as good as ours, pretty much.
There's a lot about the differences between these. I have some quotes for us later.
Okay. So she does kind of fit the descriptors of the overall broad category, but she's really struggling to figure out the difference between sociopath and psychopath. She's trying to do more research at the library. She goes to speak to her psych professor for that clarity, and she comes to a momentary conclusion that perhaps sociopathy is a spectrum, just like autism. And maybe it's she has an emotional learning disability.
Oh, yeah. That was a good analogy.
I like that a lot. She actually had a lot of good analogies during this.
Yeah, and she's mentioned the spectrum in the earlier pages, but she really better articulates what she means in these pages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the professor, although obviously feeling like Patric is really interesting and brings up really interesting points, the professor's writing notes, obviously oh, that's something I should research a little further. She still leaves Patric kind of hopeless at the end because she pretty much tells her that people experiencing kind of that antisocial personality disorder, that feeling of that pressure that they just need to release, she explains it as the pressure is building from too much apathy feeling that they can't access, that the people then just snap.
Yeah.
So she kind of says pretty much it's uncontrollable at the end of the day. People might be just kind of putting it aside for a little bit, but eventually it's not going to matter. So Patric kind of leaves the office feeling kind of what's the point in controlling myself if I'm just going to get to a point eventually anyway where I can't control myself anymore. So During all this, though, if anything, she's remembering her love for David and realizing that
I want David to come back.
It took everything in me in these 50-ish pages to not Google Patrick Gagne and find out if David's the person she's married to.
Thank you.
I did not do it.
I've been resisting,
but I wanted to.
But I think maybe she ends up with David.
I do too
I
now.
hope she does. I love their love story, and you know me, I don't really like love.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a romantic.
Yeah.
I live in the fairy smut world because it's very unreal. And that works for me.
They apparently kept talking, though, after their breakup, and they're very much friends with each other.
That's my clapping.
She really feels like she can be herself with him, and she finds that the love she has had and has for him is pretty much the, like, tell-all for the fact that she is not a psychopath, because psychopaths would not experience love like that. Yeah. And she's like, wait, it's not just my immediate family I love David.
And this whole time she's like, wow, the criteria for these two are so similar. Yeah. Like, what if I'm actually a psychopath? And she's kind of freaking out. But then David, he's the key.
He's the key?
He's the key to our heart and our soul. You know when Crease comes, it's going to be so exciting.
I'm finally looking forward to Christmas.
Just so we can say Merry Christmas
before. We've been saying it all year so far, though.
We have to stop.
But it's now summer break after her first year of UCLA, and she decides to move in with her dad for those couple of months, but she's really needing to fill her time in order to not make trouble. So she gets a nanny job for a celebrity who I'm dying to know who it was. But
I don't think she'll tell us.
She won't tell, but can you imagine them being like, oh, I did leave my kids with a sociopath?
I think it's beautiful. This discussion, right?
Oh,
absolutely.
It's like,
because there's the misconceived perceptions. Like, there are many stigmas about many things. Clearly, Patrick is an active member of society.
Clearly.
Who does things that don't hurt anyone.
Absolutely.
Are they a little spooky? Yeah. But you know what? She ain't hurt nobody. Nobody.
Except that girl Sid with the pencil.
Yeah, and the cat. Poor cat. They both lived, though.
Yes, that's the important thing. So she actually does a really great job with the nanny job.
Yeah.
She, like, thrives in it.
And she thinks the kids are, like, super entertaining.
Yeah.
Which I thought was so interesting. I thought she'd be, like, annoyed by them.
Me too. And she went into it kind of thinking that's how she would be. But she was actually, like, great. But during this time, she's still continuing her research, and it's led her to this concept of stuck stress being the reason kind of behind sociopathy. So a light bulb kind of goes off for her that her anxiety is triggered by her discomfort around that absence of apathy and that need kind of for some feeling. And she wonders if just accepting it and doing bad behaviors more frequently rather than letting that buildup happen and doing one big bad thing.
That's a very bad thing.
That's a very bad girl. But if she could just avoid getting to the point where the pressure builds, could things kind of get better?
I was literally thinking that as I was reading the book. I was like, what if she just did a bunch of little bad stuff every day?
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's like, what are those little bad things?
Totally. Well, she makes herself a list. She's like, let's list all the bad things.
I like how, like, pragmatic she is.
She's very good at that stuff, for sure. So she's like, I'm going to test the theory. And she decides that of all the things she does, the trespassing and stalking is probably the least bad. So she's like, I'm going to try it. And she does. And it works.
She goes into the house of the
across
kids.
The street. Yeah, the across the street neighbors. She, like, stalks them in the sense that she, like, knows exactly when they leave for work. And, you know, it was funny because she talks about how she didn't have to, like, fully stalk them to get this information. People just give you this information when you're talking to them. And I've thought about all the times that you could be, like, at your neighborhood block party or whatever, and you let go of some details, you
That's
know.
what she said she did. They were at a
neighborhood, and they're like, yeah, we got this super advanced security security system, but we only use it when we go on vacation.
Yeah, and she was like, clocked that.
Or like, we always go to work by 8:15 on the dot. And I'm like, oh my God, how much information about myself have I given unintentionally to people I trust just because they're my neighbors?
Yeah, neighborly love.
Neighbors, if you're listening, do you come to my house? Some of you do. I know some of you do. I have cameras set up 24/7. But anyway, so a few years later, her urges turn a little bit more violent. She starts to have desires that come from being alone for too much. And she's kind of weirded out by that because being alone is kind of where she's the most comfortable. But all of a sudden, if she does it for too long, she gets urges that aren't just, oh, I'm going to break into the house, but are more worrisome in the violence.
Too much isolation without feeling. And she gets, there's nothing happening around her.
Yep. But she confesses all her experiences and feelings to her dad.
I loved this part.
And she also tells him that she goes to church, which for her is actually going to church for funerals. At first, her dad's like, hell yeah, let's go to church with you. And then she's like, this is not the kind of church you're thinking. She pretty much is going to funerals on weekends because she likes to watch others have emotions. And it's giving her the same apathy relief as if she was to do something illegal. And the conversation with her dad is actually quite touching, I would say. And I really felt for her the whole time I was reading it.
I was glad she was just like, it feels like the first time she had the language to explain that she feels she's a sociopath. Yeah. Instead of hiding it or trying to be something she's not, like kind of the stuff with her mom. She just was like, listen, Dad, I'm pretty sure that I'm a sociopath and here's all this research and this is how I feel and this is why I don't have friends. And she just kind of like unloaded. And I feel like he took it quite gracefully.
I felt bad for her because she does also tell him like, I don't want to be this way. Like I want to be normal. I wish like I had friends, you know, all that stuff, but I just can't. And the quote she says here, it's like I'm starving, but food makes me sick. And I felt for her. Yeah. She is very aware of herself, almost to the point where it must almost make it even a little bit more difficult, right? Because you're like, I know this is so different from everyone else around me. So her dad suggests she starts seeing a therapist.
Which I think was a great suggestion.
And the therapist has her...
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Sorry, that was judgy. I take it back.
So the therapist suggests she completes the test meant to diagnose psychopaths. And at this point, there's no test for diagnosing a sociopath. So you kind of go off of the psychopath testing, and then they kind of like determine what level you're at pretty much. And could it be like mild to where you're a sociopath?
There were like numbers. She was like, most people score like a 2.
Yeah, it goes from like 4 to 40. Like you're either nothing or you're everything. Yeah. There's no like in between. It's crazy. Sorry, it's
still being researched.
Craziness.
It's not fully figured out yet.
Yep. So she does diagnose her with sociopathic personality disorder. And she also makes a really interesting point to Patric that while she might not feel empathy herself, it's really obvious that she's looking for it. Like she just wants to understand why she's like that. She wants to surround herself with people who get her. She talks about how she just wants a diagnosis so she can immediately tell people what it is so that they can like understand why she is the way she is. So the therapist, I thought it was an interesting point. But now we're a little bit out. She's like graduating from college or did just graduate. And she seems to find that empathy in a job that her father offers her. She's working in the entertainment industry. And everyone there is really like nonchalant about being a sociopath.
This is like cutthroat LA music industry. Totally. Like everyone probably sucks.
Well, yeah. But I also just think about how like, you know.
Respectfully.
We're just, I don't know, people make jokes, right? And be like, oh my God, you're psycho. Right? Like, it's just
I was thinking about, like, the cutthroat nature of entertainment and, like, corporate America.
Oh,
and
no.
Everyone's just, like, a dick.
No, I was thinking more of, like, she's telling people, like, oh, I'm like this because I'm diagnosed sociopath. And they're like, oh, my God, girl, me too.
I thought that was just, like, Jennifer.
No, I think that was, like, the other people around, too. But then she meets Jennifer, who's a record label exec she has to work with. And she expresses to Patric all the ways that they're similar. Mm-hmm. But she's actually a lot more full of emotion rather than absent, kind of the way Patric feels. And her behavior is a lot more selfish. She really just cares about how she feels. And she's she's unhinged.
I love how much she hates Jennifer.
Yeah. But so for Jennifer, Patric is like her soul twin, is what she calls her. But for Patric, Jennifer's a nightmare.
She's like insulted that she thinks she's a sociopath too.
She says she makes pretty much all sociopaths. Like, she gives them a bad name.
Yeah.
She hates that she identifies as a sociopath. It kind of ended with Jennifer telling her a story about how her dog kills the neighbor's dog. And she's like panicked about it. But then she's like, gonna go to her boyfriend's place. And then she's like, do you think it's bad that he let me borrow his car but didn't give me his credit card? She's just like, oh, I hate her. It made me really angry.
Patric hates her too.
But that's kind of where it ended. The only thing that I also kind of made a note of that I liked how she described this when she was talking about that like pressure building and needing to like do these little bad things here and there to prevent herself from doing the bad thing. She explained it as the idea of little earthquakes happening that kind of let the earth release that pressure, and the earth is doing it so that it can avoid having the big quake. I just thought that was really interesting. It painted such a good picture for me. She's like, I just need to like, to shake it out just a little bit, because if I don't, then the big one happens and everyone dies.
All of her titles for her chapters have been good. Like,
so good.
The Pop of Color, where she was just like seeking feeling. Like, honestly, it's really well written. It's clever. It's smart. It's also just super freaking interesting book.
Yeah.
I can't get over it. I'm kind of gushing on it.
Thank you so much, Orcas Island Bookstore, who put this out on their table and made me notice it.
Oh, I read this on Oprah's list of books for last year. That's how you found about it?
So yeah, tell me what you want to chat about.
I got a lot of stuff I want to chat about.
Okay,
but I also
just buckle up. It's gonna be a long one.
Buckle the fuck in, okay? I have a lot of topics, but I also wanted to say something I thought was interesting with Jennifer. Not only does she hate that Jennifer calls herself a sociopath, whatever, because it's like an insult to her because she's actually a sociopath, but then...
And the therapist says that Jennifer has borderline personality disorder.
That's right. And then I thought it was so interesting that when Jennifer tells Patric that her pit bull, Mr. Worldwide, when her pit bull killed the neighbor's dog, what'd she do? She took the neighbor's dog's body, put it in the road, and they kind of think that it's like their fault that the dog died.
The dog got out and got hit by a car.
And it's not like this is the first time this pit bull did something. It bit off her finger, Jennifer's, and then this neighbor took her to the hospital to get it sewn back on.
It's crazy. It's
crazy. It's like quite unhinged.
Yeah.
So then I thought it was so interesting that Patric was like, holy shit.
She doesn't care about consequences, so why would she care how her neighbor would feel? Or
she was like, how could you do that? Like, completely aghast by her behavior and actions and how she handled it. And I was like, it's interesting because it's like Patric is reacting to Jennifer the way like Patric's mom reacted to her as a kid. And it just goes to show that there's all these like personalities out there, and so many people act in different ways and are just misunderstood. Not that what Jennifer did was right, but she created the same kind of reaction that Patric's mom would give her.
But Jennifer also like jumps.
Jennifer sucks too, though.
Yeah. She jumps from like thing to thing too, right? Like she's like losing it over this dog situation because she also saw it happen. Like she saw the dog kill the other one. She had to move this body and she's like traumatized by it. And then like a switch just clicks, and then she's like, now I want to be upset about the credit card.
Right, now she's upset about her boyfriend.
Her really rich boyfriend. She's like obsessed with him being rich.
Really weird.
It is really like she just kind of, there's a lot of things happening.
I couldn't stop thinking either, like, you know, like sometimes when you have platforms, you have to be careful about some of the things that you say. And I kept thinking, like, does Patric think about, what if Jennifer reads this book one day and she's like, she fucking hates her.
Absolutely.
And she totally just like tattles on her. And I wondered if Patric cared about that at all. She probably doesn't, you know. She probably just wrote it and was like, whatever.
I mean, she probably assumed doesn't talk to Jennifer anymore.
Yeah.
And
she's like, whatever.
The liability is not there because she changed names.
If the bridge gets burned, then who cares? Yeah.
I mean, nobody would know except Jennifer herself.
Yeah.
Probably.
Kind of the same thing with Kimi. Like, nothing really terrible happened with her roommate, Kimi, but I loved how when they were getting into their discussion about Patric being out past curfew and waking her up, she was like, wait, I have a quote because I loved it so much. So Kimmy's like, we need to have a conversation. This isn't working for me. And then Patric says, I positively lived for these talks, and not just because I was entertained by confrontation, although this was certainly the case. The main reason I loved our meetings was interacting with the machine. She just calls it.
I know. For a
machine.
while in the beginning, I was like, who? And then once I got it, I was like, oh,
she's like
funny.
hyper fixated on machine, and she's like
an interpreter.
Yeah, and she's fascinated by how it works and it's translating for them. And she's just like, I just want to learn more about machine so you can yell at me all you want. Because
she's like upset when Kimi starts learning enough English that they don't need the machine anymore. And she's like, damn it.
What? She's like, can she speak?
Best part.
No. I love it so much. But I thought sociopathy not being in the DSM was interesting, which we discovered in our first episode. I was actually really proud of us because a lot of the things that we read in these set of pages, we are already researching in the first set of pages. You probably don't remember,
I don't remember
do you?
at all,
okay.
No, but I know we're very smart, so I believe it.
As we were talking, we were like Googling sociopath versus...
God, we're so good at this job.
Psychopath. And then you were like, it's not in the DSM.
I'm really smart.
It is replaced with antisocial personality disorder, but I just feel like in today's world where there's so much sensitivity about being aware of people and identities and such, and it just feels like we would have grown to be in a place where it's in the DSM. I don't know,
well,
am I crazy?
She makes a comment about how it's out of the DSM because there's no treatment or whatever, but then I think about like all the other diagnoses that are in there don't have any sort of treatment available, but they are still there as a...
Yeah.
So is it just because they really can't seem to narrow down exactly what it is in comparison to like some of the other disorders?
This is like what I don't get. And then she goes into this one part about diagnosing sociopath, because we had also talked about what if you have a child who has sociopath behaviors or tendencies and you don't want to just wait for them to,
snap.
Yeah.
Which is
because when she's talking to her professor, she says, quote, "You're telling me the only way to get diagnosed as a sociopath is to first be diagnosed with conduct disorder. That would mean all sociopaths would have criminal records, and there's no way that's true." I'm just surprised that with how long sociopathy and even psychopath and all these things, right? Like, I'm shocked that we don't have a way of addressing this earlier on in a child's life.
It just sounds like...
Am I crazy?
No, I think that the so-called professionals around this are just like...
What does that mean?
That's right, I'm attacking your jobs.
Oh my God.
I feel like they're just like, these are all going to be criminals soon anyway. So like...
That's terrible.
I know.
Do you really think that's what's happening?
Well, yeah, because when they talk about doing the testing for the psychopath test, that it was like the way it's made is to diagnose you for the criminal kind of record.
Right.
Like they're using this for that. It's not really used of like, I'm experiencing these feelings and I want help. It's like, this is going to be a legal case because you did something actually violent and now we're going to diagnose you with this. So it just feels like...
I don't like this.
No, I don't either. But
I think this is real.
I kind of can.
Really?
I think we as a society are more of the Band-Aid kind of approach to things. I think we're more like, we just let things kind of happen rather than trying to prevent anything in the beginning.
You think that's like what we do as a country or like as a world or as a people?
I think mostly as a country, but I think it's a little bit further out. I mean, just think about, things that aren't just mental health. We really are like a pill popping society, right? We're just like, I'm going to treat symptoms, but I'm not going to try and find a cure. There's no preventative stuff.
This makes me very depressed that you feel this way.
Well, good luck with that because they're not going to treat it.
I feel like I had more hope as a society that we would try to prevent.
Hope in the society?
I mean, it's hard, but you try. But like, I can't believe that we just like wait for young kids and adults to display some of these. I mean, clearly they're not just displaying it, like that's who they are. And then what? Like you wait for Patric to get caught when she breaks into someone's house or, you know, stab the kid with the pencil or chokes the cat. And then it's like, what does she have to do to get a record and then to get diagnosed? I don't know. I don't like it.
Well, I mean,
this is 2026, Yana, and we still don't have this in the DSM. It sounds like in order to get diagnosed today, you still need to have like committed a crime.
But when have we ever prioritized mental health?
I guess that's fair.
That is the least of our concerns as a society, it seems like.
Parents do when children display behavioral things like this.
I think they say they're bad kids.
I don't like that answer.
Yeah, I don't either, but I think that's what's happening.
I wonder if Patric's part of like a society of change the world. You know what I mean?
Do you?
Patric definitely has more like clout than I do. I don't like it. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, well, become a PhD psychologist and change it.
I don't like that it's not in the DSM, and I don't like this means of diagnosing sociopath or psychopath. I bet
Patric changes things a little bit as a therapist herself.
I hope so, but I feel like we just need to be better people. It just upsets me. I just need good news sometimes, you know, from like humanity, and I never get it. Anyway, I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
Let's talk about sociopath versus psychopath. This was a big part of this book. I have a quote. It's like in her words of describing it, so I wanted to share it. She says, psychopaths are believed to suffer from brain abnormalities. It's why they make the same mistakes over and over. They are biologically incapable of learning from punishment or understanding remorse or even experiencing anxiety. But sociopaths are believed to be different. While their behavior is often just as bad as psychopaths, they appear to be more capable of evolution. Their issues seem to be more environmental than biological.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about in the first episode, as I'm sure you recall.
I recall.
What do you think about that, though? Like, I feel like I hear that all the time in my true crime podcast. It's like, well, he had a head injury. And they always are like, the head injury, the head injury. And so it's like a clear sign
but then what about like Ed Gein?
Ed Gein is so interesting.
I know,
He's
but
like one of the biggest anomalies.
Trauma, but not. I don't think there was a physical injury. I think there was like religious trauma and just.
I don't remember.
Child abuse, kind of. I don't think it was like physical necessarily, but he did have like, I guess, the mental health probably thing. But I don't think there was.
He was actually diagnosed though with like
schizophrenia.
Yeah, like he like. I mean, whoa, what a tale to unpack, Mr. Gein.
Do your voice,
mother.
I hate it. If you guys haven't watched the Ed Gein series on Netflix.
Monsters. Yeah.
Oh my
He did a great job. It's a good performance.
He did a really good job, but that shit sticks with you.
But they also say there's a lot of debate around this topic, around like a head injury even being something, because sometimes it happens to certain serial killers and sometimes it doesn't. And then sociopathy is environmental.
Right, because the psychopath one was like more of the genetic.
Yeah, and it's like genetics, you suffer a head injury, and then of course there's like some kind of environmental play in there because that's the way life goes. But for sociopath, it's purely environmental, which I still think is just so interesting. Like, I know that we are different people from our siblings, like, but it doesn't seem like Harlow. I don't get it. I don't think I get it all the way. Her sister Harlow.
Oh, Harlow.
Like, what happened in the environment that they went different ways? You know?
I mean, who knows, right? Like, I don't. Maybe we'll find out in the next 50 pages.
I don't think we will. I think that this is part of the reason probably why it's not like in the DSM and there's not great diagnostic tests and things, because it's so like...
Did you look it up? Is it still not in there?
Yeah, I looked it up. It's still not in there. Please fact check me, but I was like 2026.
You know what? I do some insurance billing. I'll try and bill it tomorrow.
Yeah, see what happens. That would actually be interesting for where you work.
The DSM-5 classifies both psychopathy and sociopathy as antisocial personality disorder.
But the two are so different.
I know.
This is like what my problem with this is.
I mean, that's what her problem is with this too.
I also
They're
have
so
a
different.
problem with like waiting for someone to have a criminal record before you even give them these tests.
I mean, I have that sometimes with like even my own medical stuff, right? Where it's like there's stuff my insurance won't pay for until there's truly a problem, but they won't pay for any of the like preventative stuff to avoid that problem. And I think that's just part of our system right now, right? The money comes from you actually getting the bad thing.
I don't like this.
I know.
Do you think that's just America?
I think it's mostly America.
So you think other countries are...
We're very money hungry. Like everything we do politically is about money. That's not other societies.
That's a fact here. Fact with Yana and Claire. Mostly Yana, because I don't know.
Claire doesn't read.
I don't read. She's sort of dedicated her life here to this. That's probably one of the reasons why she's sort of like, oh, I'm a sociopath and I'm proud of, because there's a lot of stigmatism and there's a lot of education that needs to happen. It seems like there's a lot of growth that needs to happen in terms of like diagnosing and having these kind of conversations earlier in life too. So hopefully Patric's out there doing the good work. We haven't gotten to the end of her book, but I feel like she is. I know she is. Patric, I know you are.
It says it's outdated terminology.
Sociopath?
Yeah. Viewed as an archaic term.
So if not sociopath, then what is it? They're just trying to...
It's the antisocial personality disorder.
I wonder how Patric feels about that. Because that generalizes sociopath and psychopath.
Yep. It says sociopathy is not in the DSM-5 because it is considered a colloquial or outdated term rather than a formal clinical diagnosis. The behaviors instead are classified under antisocial personality disorder. There's lack of a clear definition. The DSM-5 is more for observable behaviors rather than personality constructs, and sociopath is viewed as an archaic term. Both the terms sociopath and psychopath are used in forensic and research contexts, but are not official. So, I mean, there's no official diagnosis for psychopath either.
I don't like it, though, because they get intermixed too easily.
Well, and she experiences that a lot, right? Of, like, people just assuming she's going to end up in the prison system. Yeah. In some ways, like, setting her up to expect that from herself, right? Where she might not have wanted the violent tendencies or anything like that, but they're like, that's going to happen to you anyway. So she's like, all right.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
And she's also like, Jennifer, you're not a psychopath.
Plus you look decent.
She's like, don't bucket yourself with me, girl. I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling too much empathy in my heart and I need to chill out.
Claire for president.
Okay, let's talk about this stuck stress, which also kind of goes into this.
She's like,
this
constipated
here.
stress.
Yeah, and in the definition I just read, they say that psychopaths, they are biologically incapable of experiencing anxiety. Whereas sociopaths experience a lot of anxiety because they're seeking those feelings so much that this goes into the first episode again. It's like a quote unquote stressful existence, constantly seeking these feelings and trying to meet like society standards. So she calls it stuck stress. Yeah. And it's an quote anxious reaction to apathy. And this is what her pressure is. The pressure that keeps building and building over time. And this is the thing that we learn in these chapters is she's like, I'm gonna just do something quote unquote bad every day so that this pressure doesn't build up and I don't feel stressed. So her bad thing that she's doing in these chapters, the big one is she's going to funerals.
Yeah.
I thought this one was
interesting.
Yeah, because in like the grand scheme of all the things that she's done, this is like the least quote unquote harmful or criminal, right?
Yeah.
Her low bar is breaking into homes and stalking people, which is not great. And this one, she's not breaking any laws.
She's also trying to impact her own karma with it. Like she's buying flowers for the deceased.
This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah, she's like trying to make sure. Yeah, she donates
like funeral and stuff. Yeah,
she like tries tries to make sure she's good karma-wise for doing whatever weird things she might be doing.
And it's interesting because when she's talking with her dad, she's just like confessing everything. Yeah. He's like, honey, this is not good. You're taking advantage of these people and their emotions. He totally sees it as like, this is morally like a bad thing to do. And then she's just like, I'm not hurting anyone. Like, I'm not breaking into homes. I'm not stabbing people with pencils. Like, of all the things she's done, this is like nothing.
But I also like it because she tells him the only reason you think this is a bad thing is because it would make you feel bad if you did it.
But
she's like, but I don't feel bad. So it's a totally okay thing for me to do.
And on top of that,
which I thought was just interesting because, I mean, that's pretty much how societal norms are made, right? Someone out there is like, this is a bad thing to do because I don't like how it feels.
Right. We all decided, like, generally that's not good. But she's like, hey. And then on top of it, she is doing things like donating to the families or the charity that the deceased, wanted something. Or she gets some flowers, right? Like, I don't know.
And it's keeping her out of actual trouble.
Right. She's not actually
she's
breaking
doing this
laws.
So that she avoids doing a bad thing, like an actual thing that we would all consider bad.
This is like a best worst case scenario.
Of all the things she could be doing, she's going to charge for funerals, and that might be lovely.
And I'm just curious to see like what else she discovers, but I hate that it's for her, it's like she has to do this experimenting. This is why I'm mad about
she's like on her own for figuring out her diagnosis.
This is why I'm mad about the DSM and diagnosis, because she's just fucking around trying to figure out what works.
It's all trial and error for her.
Yes. And like we talked about before, there are some people who like maybe don't have the same tools in their tool belt as Patric, or they don't have the same thought process, and they just like get stuck on doing the cat choking and the pencil stabbing, and then they go down dark paths. I don't know. I feel like we need to have resources, but what do I know?
I don't know if things we're still the start of the book, right? We're not that far in, but
we're like halfway through.
Are we really?
160 pages.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's like 330 or something. Yeah, we're halfway through.
Well, I really expected more from her psych teacher. Like, I thought that they were really going to, like...
Maybe they still will.
So maybe they will. But, yeah, at the moment, she's really alone in this.
Yeah, she's really, like, fucking navigating this on her own.
It almost feels like her dad was, like, the first person to help.
Yes, that's why I loved this conversation. And I feel like, obviously, I don't know nearly enough to be making this statement boldly, but it doesn't seem like a conversation she could have with her mom based on their relationship. But dad was like a safer place to give it a try.
It sounds like dad didn't have to deal with a lot of like the childhood stuff.
That's true. Ooh,
so
daddy.
The mom might be... Yeah, the mom might be like a little burnt out from
I'm sure there's a lot of other things too we don't know, obviously.
Right. Especially when like at this point she's an adult, and regardless of what's going on mental health wise, like she can hold a conversation differently than like she has more life experience that she can explain herself in ways she probably couldn't explain to her mom back then. Yeah. And so now her relationship with her mom's different, and dad's just, the cool guy living in LA working in entertainment who's like, oh, you're in college now, you can come live with me.
Here's a job also.
And also here's a house I'm not going to stay in anymore. I'm going to go somewhere else.
It's actually like quite a coveted experience. That's really cool.
Just get a job. I mean, it's...
But I'm curious to see what happens with her mom. I feel like the first part of the book had a lot to do with her, so I hope we come back to mom and kind of get some kind of conclusion or like update on where they are today. Mm-hmm. But I really loved the conversation between her and her dad, and I appreciated that he would like challenge her on certain things, and you could tell maybe she pushed a button where he was like, yeah, but he still was open and, having this conversation and like, hey, like, let's try therapy. He was doing what dad could do.
Well, I feel like, he did a perfect mix of like, oh my God, this isn't okay. And like, actually listening.
Yeah, and then being like, okay, maybe it is okay. Like, let's keep talking about it.
Let me try. Described it so damn well to him.
Well, because she finally had the words, right? And like, she sounds like she's just totally immersed herself.
Yeah, she did enough research at that point to...
She's like, I'm a sociopath, damn it.
Yeah, I mean, she really diagnosed herself quite well. And I mean, she really researched it.
Yes, I love all her inventive ways of going about this, but it also makes me nervous that like, not everyone is like Patric.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's where I keep...
are actual sociopaths and then become psychopaths.
Can you become a psycho?
Well, I don't know. Can you? Because if you're a sociopath that can't control those that stress piece and you start to do the violent things and then you end up in jail, you have a criminal record now. Are they just going to say you're a psychopath?
Well, I think that's why there's that test, this PCL.
But some of it, like, the questions are of, like, who you've hurt or whatever, how many people.
But there was, like, it's like if you score, like, 19 to 29 or some shit, I can't remember, you're, like, in the sociopath spectrum.
Yeah.
And then if you're anything beyond that, you're in the psychopath spectrum. Yeah. But again, like, I don't like that people have to commit crimes and go to jail and stuff just to get diagnosed. I don't know. Let's say I have a child who's displaying some of these behaviors. Why can't I take them to a psychologist and they give them this test and then we see where they score?
Because insurance won't pay for it.
Sure. I mean, that's probably true, but I don't know. That was all I had.
You had great.
I really liked these chapters. And
it's a really good book so far. If you're following along because you're a non-reader with us, we still recommend, I think, you read the book because it's just really well written. Written a lot better than we can describe it.
That's true. I think all the books we read are, obviously better read than you
I don't
hear
know.
our
I think
voices.
we described just for the summer.
Actually,
a lot better.
We take that back. I take it back for just for the summer. For just for the summer. We can't read any more of her books. If we're
Abby
ever...
Jimenez.
Don't say her name.
Say my name.
Once we're famous podcasters, we can never talk to her. We can never look at her. We can never have anything to do with her.
Okay, so Abby, if you're listening,
we're sorry.
Please do not contact us at mybeabookclub@gmail.com. And we actually personally request you do not sponsor us.
I feel like we just like completely annihilated that book and then we can't even let it go. Like we always bring it up as like, oh, well, it's not as bad as just the summer.
No publicity is bad publicity. There are people out there listening to us right now who are like, damn, that shit's so bad. I want to go read it now just to see how bad it is. And that is money right in Abby Jimenez's pocket.
That's true.
You're welcome, Abby. Sponsor us.
Maybe we can be friends after all.
Come be on our podcast.
This is called My Best Friend's
We would love for you to email us.
I don't. I'm scared. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. That's all.
I'm not sorry at all.
We're clearly not your target audience and we're sorry, but we tried it. All right, Yana, what's your food rating for these pages? Sociopath.
This can be intense. Are you ready?
Oh my gosh. Is it fishy?
No.
Okay. I don't know why I thought that.
I really like this book right now.
Okay. So
I would really like to dedicate this to one of my favorite foods because I just damn well like it.
Sourdough?
No.
Pizza? Sourdough pizza.
I love pizza.
My name is Yana. Remember that video with those Alabama girls? My name is Yana. I gotta get him out there. I forgot about that video. That video is so good. My name is Yana.
Go team. No, I like pizza and I like toppings and I like a different mix and match of toppings.
Yeah.
And I just have so far found 0 pieces to this book to complain about. And that's a pretty big compliment, I would think, based on like everything else we've read so far. I've had something negative to say about everything.
You do.
I'm not a very positive person. But pizza.
It's always positive.
It's always positive. I don't super appreciate chicken on pizza because it usually is really dry.
The texture's not right.
But otherwise, I'll even fuck with some pineapple.
You just said that to piss me off.
I did. I knew it would hurt your feelings.
It's weird how, like, I feel so reactive to pizza. There's this trend, this viral trend, where people are dipping pizza in butter chicken, like Indian butter chicken. And I get mad when I see these videos. And, like, I don't know why I'm so protective of pizza. I think it's like my Italian heritage, but I get like offended for pizza that's not, it doesn't have emotions. You know? I'm like, I see a video and I'm like, I get mad. I don't know. It upsets me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just sharing some emotions that I have.
I accept your emotions.
Thank you.
And I will hold them.
Thank you very much.
What's your food rating?
I would say this is like asparagus wrapped in prosciutto. Like, it's delicious. And it's got some crunch.
Some what?
Crunch.
Ooh, crunch.
Some crunch.
Mercury's.
But when you pee, it kind of smells a little bit.
It's a little stinky.
And that's how I feel when I think back about the DSM and the diagnoses for these. It's like, I really like these books. I really like these chapters. I like where Patrick is going. It's delicious and delightful, but there's an undertone that stinks a little bit.
I like that. That's
I know.
a really good one.
I was so clever.
That's incredibly clever. I'm really proud of you. You're so smart.
I know.
And so beautiful, and your hair's so long.
Thank you. Right back at you.
Thanks.
Well,
what are you reading? Anything new?
I have dived back into the Blood and Ash series. It's long, everyone. Okay, this book is like 600 pages, but don't worry, I was already 300 in. But I'm not giving up. Here's what. If I can't do the audiobook, I'm done. But that's it. It's the third book in the Blood and Ash series. It's like Gilded Bones or some shit. I can't remember, but I'm trying to read something jolly, you know? What about you?
I am reading Strangers, and I'm still...
You still mad?
I think I just read about like 30 more pages, and it was not as much about her ex-husband, so I was less mad. But it did kind of give a good, also, background kind of to her life, why she experienced the divorce the way she did. It's very beautifully written. It's not the most uplifting
I
book,
can imagine.
but it is very well written.
So, friends, we are still growing, and we're growing rapidly. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you better jump on that train while it's still taking passengers.
That's right. Hang on to our trail as we go into the galactic stars.
And to Hogwarts.
No, really.
Jump onto our platform 9 3/4.
Thank you for your continued support. Please share us with some of your friends and family members, coworkers,
neighbors,
whoever,
people at the grocery store, people at Barnes & Noble who are looking at books.
We're still trying to grow the pod, and we still need your help. So please don't forget to share us with people who you feel will enjoy the podcast.
If you think we're great now, think about how much better we could be with like an actual studio.
You don't even know.
You don't know what we're capable of.
That's
but
right.
If you give us a chance, we will prove that we are worth it.
That's right. We will shout all your names out in the most weirdest, elaborate ways you could ever imagine. And you better believe we'll do that.
Way you like it.
Lights out.
I'll break into your house.
Yeah. If you give us 5 stars, Yana will break into your house.
In a mask with a knife.
And then we'll give you a shout out also. Yes. The Stalking and Knives is from Lights Out, so don't be...
Yeah, it's not just a threat.
It's not real, so...
Well, we'll see. Depends how bad you want it.
So if you're reading along with us, you can always feel free to send us any notes or thoughts, random-ass thoughts you might have.
Even if they're negative, we can take it. We'll try and fix it. We'll try and be better. Unless we don't really care what you say.
That's the thing, too. So... You can DM us on our Instagram or TikTok at
My BF Book Club.
Or you can email us at
samething@gmail.com.
So follow us on your favorite podcast streaming platforms.
Tap that 5-star like.
You also want Sociopath and Psychopath on the DSM with proper diagnoses early in
on the
life.
Ballot.
That's right, everyone. This is a serious Tap That 5-star. So, friends, we just love to read.
So hard.
We love stories.
We love words and spelling, print,
and we just,
ink.
Like to talk some shit.
All the time, even when we're not on the podcast.
Exactly.
This is exactly how we are in person. Come say hi to us.
Probably a little more offensive. But
yeah, we're actually a lot worse when there's not an audience.
We'll see where that goes. But
jail.
If nothing else, friends, remember.
Keep on reading.
My name is Shanae. My name is Shanae.